Good evening, everyone. Thanks a lot for being with us. I'm Shivani Gupta. Now, India, of course, achieved a very important milestone of 1 crore vaccine doses given across the country on Friday. That, of course, just goes on to show how India's vaccination rate is increasing month on month. From about 15 crore doses earlier, we have started giving about 16 crores now. So, for example, about 12 crore doses were given in the month of June, 13.45 crores in July, and now in August, with 2 days to go, India has already done over 16 crore vaccinations. But remember, the rate is still low when we take into account that India has a target of inoculating all adults by December. And that's about 90 crore people who need 180 crore jabs. So far, India has given a total of 60 crore plus jabs. To talk more about that and how and whether India can vaccinate all adults by December end, as is the stated target of the government, we are joined by Dr. N.K. Arora, Chief of the National Technical Advisor Group on Immunization. Dr. Arora, thanks a lot for speaking to us. Let me first begin by asking you about that mark of 1 crore vaccines that was achieved on Friday. It's a phenomenal mark, of course, and a great achievement. But the next question that arises is, can we maintain this pace? Because we will need to maintain this pace roughly in order to achieve our target of inoculating all adults by December.
So, I think the health system has repeatedly demonstrated that these feats of 8 million plus, 9 million plus, and now 10 million plus vaccine dose administration are not one of photo ops. These are showing systems capacity. For example, on Friday, there were only 65,000 vaccine centers. So at an average, about 160 doses per center were given. And they were all over. And if you look at the CoWIN dashboard, almost 70% of the doses were administered in the rural areas, which are far-flung. So these are not urban phenomena alone. So first of all, this is our capacity and the confidence it gives primarily from polio program, where we have been immunizing 17 crore children in a week. And measles and rubella campaign, where similar kind of school-based immunization were concerned. So that is one. So we can sustain. The whole issue is, as the vaccine availability increases, the system will keep responding and will be able to administer doses even up to 1.25 crores a day, or around, at least around that, without any difficulty.
Right. So I ask my question again. You're confident that we can achieve the target of vaccinating all adults with 2 doses by December end?
My answer is, we are extremely hopeful and we should be able to do it. The reason is, the vaccine supply system we have at the moment is that Serum Institute is going to increase its production between 15 to 18 crore doses a month. And it may reach up to 20 crore vaccine doses. Bharat Biotech has been a bit slow because of initial teething problems with its new plant. But we should be having 6 to 7 crore doses next month onward. That means September onwards from Bharat Biotech. Plus, now Sputnik is getting manufactured within the country. So in next 4 months, we will have sufficient pipeline to be able to reach up to 90 crore people with double doses. Meanwhile, 2 new doses or 3 new vaccines are going to be there joining this, and they are all based on Indian manufacturers. One is Zycov-D, which will be available from October onwards, 1 crore doses per month. The second is Genova, should be available by the end of October, and they have committed about 5 crore doses within this year. And Biological E is preparing a stockpile, as I've been given to understand. They have been paid advance So although it may be delayed as far as their emergency use authorization is concerned, but by November, December, we should be able to have additional 20, 30 crore doses from there also.
Right. Now, availability of doses is one thing. The other is whether people come and take those doses. Is there a concern in that regard that people are just might not come? Because recently we also saw how about 1.5 crore plus people missed their second dose.
One feels very, very, very thankful to the community, as well as very comfortable as far as looking at the eagerness of vaccine in this country. And India has been known to be a vaccine eager country. Even whatever data for COVID also, publications in February, March this year has shown that India is one of the highest vaccine acceptor.
Right.
Third thing is, I think we have used last 30 years experience from 1990 onwards till today. The polio experience, we faced a lot of uphill tasks during these 30 years.
Right.
And what all strategies were adopted, whatever were the lessons, they were articulated. And I must tell you, right in October 2020, a detailed communication strategy has been prepared. So this time, to address vaccine hesitancy, to demystify and debunk rumors and misinformation, a very systematic approach has been adopted. And so initially, when we went into rural areas, there was a lot of apprehension,
right,
whether people will accept. But
right,
today you are seeing 70% vaccines are delivered there. And so it is not an easy task. The other thing which the country has adopted this time is a very proactive approach towards vaccine hesitancy.
True. But the reason I also asked this question is that even in countries like USA, they've hit a wall of sorts after 50% of the population got their jabs. As COVID fears recede and people are becoming lax about their vaccinations. So realistically speaking, and we are getting indications of the same, will the government be happy as long as 80 to 85% of the adult population gets at least one dose in the next 2 months?
I have been very closely associated with polio program. And at all times, the target is 100%.
Right.
चिड़िया की आंख हमेशा 100% को देख रही. We are not, if we keep our target at 80%, I can assure you we will not reach beyond 60%. So it will be a foolhardy attempt on our side to scale down. Our target is 100%. We continue to focus on that, and we hope, because our previous experience shows that if you keep your target, and the other thing is literacy, a very what we call as very well evolved population, and vaccine hesitancy, there are no direct correlations. In fact, US and many of the European countries are showing challenges,
right,
which we have never seen.
Right.
I do not know whether you are aware, before the onset of this pandemic, France and several European countries had massive outbreak of measles. They were not ready to get their children immunized for measles. While in India, we have always been. So I'm sure many of us, I do not know whether you have children, or my daughter-in-law, I'm a pediatrician, but she does not know what vaccines have to be given. But she knows vaccine has to be given.
Right, right.
I think that's a great thing. It has become a people's movement.
You're absolutely right. India has been much more vaccine eager than many of these countries. We are seeing, of course, many are resisting taking vaccinations in some of the more developed countries. Himachal Pradesh, for example, has said that they've achieved 100% in terms of the first dose, and many other states are around the 60% mark. There are predictions, of course, of a third wave coming in the next couple of months or so. With that in mind, do you believe that if states achieve about 80-85% saturation, even for the first dose, then the third wave impact can be minimized?
No, by October, I think it is, again, as the vaccine is available, see, at the end of the day, we are not left with any dose of the
Right,
vaccine
right.
for conceptual purpose. I hope you understand that. That whatever is being produced, there is no stockpile available. There is some in pipeline, everything else is being given up. So, and it is being taken. The whole question is that as we are expecting that about 20 crore doses, this month was about 15-16 crores.
Right.
Next month, 20-25 crores. Month in October, around 30 crore doses. So as we move in that direction, I think we'll keep on moving upwards as far as single as well as double doses.
Right. But coming to the third wave itself, how prepared do you think we are to minimize the damage if and when it happens?
Third wave is all dependent. It is 4 issues which decide the third wave. Every new wave is likely to be started at the ferocious new wave with a new virus. Genomic surveillance is being done. It has been expanded. We have now a capacity of 80,000 genomic analysis every month. And there is a weekly bulletin coming out for everybody. So one can see what is being done. So Kerala, although there is no new variant there, here I will say that. Second is that the last Zero survey showed 67% positivity. Now 67% positivity means 33% population is still susceptible. And if we are foolhardy, we do not respect corona appropriate behavior, we continue to have social gatherings, religious gatherings, political gatherings, then nobody can stop third wave. So stopping third wave is in our hand in terms of biologically, there is not much danger of at the moment.
Right.
And in fact, the interval between a new variant coming up and then identifying is now shortened to 3 weeks or 4 weeks. So we are in a much better shape. But on the other side, if we lower our guard in terms of corona appropriate behavior,
right,
that means social gatherings and religious gatherings are very important. This is in view of the ensuing festival season. And third component is immunization. Immunization, obviously, we will continue to work. And finally, the fourth component is strengthening health system. You have heard additional resources have been input. ICUs are being upgraded. New ventilator points are being created in big hospitals. Pediatric care in every medical college, a floor for pediatric COVID management has been established,
right,
or is in the process. By the end of September, it will be all done. Oxygen. So these are 4 pillars to prepare ourselves of any eventuality.
Right. But I still ask you about the assessment of this possible third wave because, opinions are differing on this. One report seemed to suggest that September will see a spike in cases, while others predicted for about October, November. So as it stands, what is the assessment with you of this possible third wave?
I'm not directly answering when are you expecting the third wave. Third wave is totally, we are preparing for it.
Right.
Our attempt is that it should not come. Our attempt is it should not be there at all, because we have 3 advantages. One, a sizable proportion of population is already infected. Now a sizable proportion of adults have got the vaccine. Very soon you will see the vaccine tracking platform where it will show what is the efficiency of the vaccine. And third is we are really preparing very hard that our health system is. लोगों की भागीदारी बहुत जरूरी है. That I think, and I think system will work very hard. You guys have to work really hard to see that we don't allow the third wave to come. I don't think it will come in September and October. Towards the end, I'm saying that.
Okay. Let me come to the question of inoculating children. Now, children with comorbidities, you have announced, can start getting their jabs sometime in October. Can you give us a number of how many such children you are planning to inoculate this year from October, and what are the preparations in this regard?
So, see, we have 44 crore children below the age of 18 years. Between 12 and 17 years or 18 years is about 12 crores. So usually less than 1% children have severe comorbidities. And that is, I think, God is kind to children, and so severe comorbidities are not there. So at the moment, we have about 1 million children who will have comorbidities. Overall, as you can make out, 4 million or so children will have comorbidities. For younger children, we are likely to get the vaccine in October or November. But for 12 to 17, the adolescent, the vaccine is now available. And from October onwards, it will be available. System is preparing so that in every district, there are centers available. And the exact modalities will become very clear very soon.
Okay.
That how the vaccine will be delivered.
But is there any specific reason why you have said that all children will be inoculated only later, after the adults are done? Is it largely due to the supply side?
No, there is, I think there are a lot of, supply is an important reason, but the more important reason is I have to safeguard the parents first.
Right.
मैं ही जिंदा नहीं रहूंगा, मेरे बच्चे को कौन देखे? I have to, so all adults have to be safeguarded, protected. And then we move on, because children mortality, severe disease is very, very uncommon. And therefore, if we take care of adults, then children automatically become less vulnerable. And
Okay.
we will have sufficient vaccine to immunize every healthy child also, beginning next quarter of the year.
Okay.
But at the moment, target, because just imagine if in 90 crores I add another 44 crores,
Right.
Yeah.
so everything will get disrupted. So my target is to, and there is a prioritization process. If vaccines were unlimited, then there was no problem. So it is, it's a prioritization is absolutely must. And within
Yeah.
children, we will do prioritize.
Yeah. Okay. So within children also, you will first prioritize comorbidity, those with comorbidities in the 12 to 18 group. And then you're saying that there will be vaccinations for all kids in the first quarter of 2022. Speaking of kids, schools are reopening across the country, and you've been batting for schools to reopen also in a phased manner. Government wants all teaching staff, all school staff to be inoculated by September 5 when we celebrate Teachers' Day. Is there a number that you can share with us? Will we be able to achieve this? How many are still left?
Already, we are given to understand most of the teaching staff and have been immunized, or they have taken the volunteer to take it earlier. Now, a additional grant or additional bulk of 2 crore doses have been released for teachers from across the country, because time has come for not only for teachers but the whole teaching staff, school staff, everybody from IR to attendant to driver, everybody has to be immunized, and they have to be encouraged. And this is also, this 2 crore doses is not just a kind of a special thing. Obviously, it is specially meant for them. It's also a message, the importance that why school children, school staff needs to be immunized. The number you are asking, I would not be able to answer this. But the state governments are ensuring, just like, you know, many corporate sectors, that people have to get and immunize and then only they're allowed to add. So similarly, I think some of those steps will be taken or are being taken up by state governments.
Okay. Finally, sir, let me also ask you if you could share more on this national vaccine tracking program that the government is to launch soon. What will be new information here that is not available currently, let's say, on the CoWIN platform?
That is National Vaccine Tracking Platform, where all the data from various sources, administrative, you are getting data from CoWIN, who is getting vaccine, you are getting from every day, whatever is the number of testing being done every day. You are getting numbers who are getting sick, who are dying, who are getting hospitalized. These are 3 data sets. So this harmonization is being done, and then a vaccine tracking platform will give us the vaccine effectiveness of no vaccination, what is the risk of death, single dose, what is the risk of death, double dose, what is the risk of death. And as we move forward, we will make it even more granular data according to age, according to the interval between doses, in geographies. We will get all that kind of. So this is going to be very exciting. I'm sure all of you will like that, so that you don't have to be grilling us.
All right. But it was a pleasure to have you here and speak, of course, in detail about the vaccination drive. You maintain that the target is to inoculate all adults by December end. Remember, that means 120 crore more doses have to be given to the willing, of course, because it's not mandatory. Speaking of the COVID situation, Kerala and Maharashtra are two states witnessing a worrying surge in COVID cases. While Kerala remains a top contributor, Maharashtra's tally also grew by over 4,600 new cases today. The state's health minister, Rajesh Tope, has now sounded an alarm, making a strong case for exercising caution. Tope warned that the third wave is likely to hit the state by the first week of November. He also said that the state is trying to speed up vaccinations to increase immunity, and that the festival season, as it is approaching, it is important for the public to remember that they have to follow all COVID-19 appropriate behavior. Meanwhile, Kerala alone contributes to 66% of all cases in the country. The main reason is being attributed to Onam festivities recently. But even before Onam, Kerala was one of the states where cases were just not coming down, triggering fears that the third national wave could well be triggered from Kerala. The surge in COVID-19 cases in Kerala have been attributed to relaxations, of course, by the government despite high numbers. A floating moving population could also be a reason, especially from the Gulf. Despite high numbers, tourist spots across the state were open. Government, of course, argues that they have to balance health and economy. But clearly, as all other states are also trying to do that, Kerala is unable to control new infections. Containment and contract tracing, especially, have been found to be lacking. Now, the central government has written a letter to Kerala and Maharashtra asking the states to adopt a five-fold strategy to control the spike. Redefining of containment zones and strict adherence and enforcement of COVID-appropriate behavior is obviously a priority. Targeted testing in containment zones and genomic surveillance will also be amongst the measures that have been suggested, besides a push, of course, to increase the vaccination pace. Finally, let's leave you with how resurgence of COVID cases and even deaths in USA are now fast diminishing the hopes of a normal winter in the country.
The rate of COVID-19 related deaths rose in 42 states last week, according to Johns Hopkins University. And a projection from the University of Washington finds 100,000 more people could die from the virus by December.
What is going on now is both entirely predictable but entirely preventable.
Dr. Anthony Fauci, the head of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, says there are roughly 80 million people in the U.S. who are eligible for the COVID-19 vaccine, but have yet to get it.
It's so important now in this crisis that we're in that people put aside any ideologic, political, or other differences and just get vaccinated.
But some Americans aren't convinced.
You choose what you should do, what you feel is right for you and your family. It's not about being Republican or Democrat.
Including those who held a Freedom from COVID rally Saturday in the Kentucky State Capitol. They say they don't want to be forced to roll up their sleeves or wear masks.
It's my body. No one needs to decide that for me. No one should ever decide that for anybody.
According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, all 50 states have a high COVID-19 transmission rate, while just half of the U.S. and Washington, D.C. have at least 50% of their population fully vaccinated.